guys, my name is RGB. It's been a little while since we've seen each other, but I hope there's no hard feelings about that. Today, I'll be discussing and sharing some concepts for a rework on the teacher rival from Yandere Simulator. I feel a little more critical about the characters nowadays, but I don't wish to bash or slander them just because of build-up spite towards the creator. I will share my opinions as a character writer and designer myself, as much as I don't believe I'm an incredible professional at all. I felt compelled to say this today specifically because we will be dealing with a very tricky character and one that I don't like at all, differently from most characters we redesigned so far. I wasn't really going to tackle her, but you guys really wanted it, so I folded. Today's subject is the teacher rival Mida Rana. So pretty much everyone knows about the faculty rivals and seem to understand or at least acknowledge why they are problematic. It's common for students to crush on teachers and adults in general, but it becomes a problem once the adult reciprocates the feelings and takes action upon them. The subject of today's redesign not only reciprocates the student's feelings, but goes as far as treating her predatory behavior as a hobby. There's no way you won't feel baffled after reading Mida's character description in Yansim's website. I believe there is a need for problematic characters to exist in media because most stories need a villain or an antagonist. There are books or movies that take things to a different level, such as Lolita with the unreliable narrator who's ultimately a sick and twisted individual. The point of the book is about a display of how pretty words uttered by an intelligent person can mask very ugly things. And you might miss it for a while if you start reading without knowing anything prior. There are people who, even after reading it, romanticize the story more than anything. But what I mean to say is, with Mida, in my point of view, she's not seen as a bad person and doesn't have a purpose in the story. She's there to fill the trope of a hot and sexy teacher who falls for the student, something you can find in animes and mangas if you search for it. And it's known to be a very common fantasy men may have. She's not needed for plot progression, she's just there because Yandere Dev wants her to be. If you took Mida away, nothing would change at all in the story's progression, and I believe that is the worst part of it all. The deliberate choice to keep a terribly written and designed character just because you're into it? Her predatory behavior is glorified, and she's only seen as someone who's a threat to Ayano's quest of making Taro fall in love with her. I mean, just take a look at this, a line in her character description in Yansim's website. She will quickly begin hunting for new prey, and Senpai will catch her attention. What? If you read the rest of it, it's just as terrible, if not worse. The worst thing is that women like Mida actually exist and do take advantage of young boys. And worse, it's not seen as something as bad as if genders were reversed. Yandere Simulator only helps hammer in that idea more, that it's not so bad if a female teacher seduces a teenage boy. I believe I don't need to touch upon her design at all, because it's far from subtle or well thought. It's just something incredibly inappropriate, not only to Western schools, but to any school in general. No way in hell a Japanese teacher will be allowed to dress like that. It's a little difficult to go into a deeper tangent on why she's so problematic without taking in consideration the entirety of the game's contents and Yandere Dev's overall controversies. But I don't want to dive into a rabbit hole and start any unnecessary drama. If you're watching this, I'm pretty sure you've seen other redesigns for this character before, or videos in general that talk about bad choices made about everything in general with the game. Easy ways to fix her would be if she wasn't seen as a threat to Ayano winning Taro's affection, but as a threat to his safety and well-being. Ideally, she wouldn't be glamorized and her design would be more subtle, with small hints that there's something suspicious about her behavior and how she interacts with teens. She would eventually get caught and punished for her actions, ultimately presented to the audience as a villain and a terrible person. But personally, that would only be needed if she was indeed important to the narrative, which personally I don't believe she is. So, I decided to merge two characters into one and make Mida and Genka into one character who is essential to beat if your Ayano and the taking on the genocide route. I have my personal problems with Genka's design, as it is also extreme sexualized for no particular reason. It's apparent in this game, but at least she is an adult character differently from all of the other rivals who also went through Yandere Dev's sexualization beam. So in this redesign, Mida isn't a rival any longer. As the guidance counselor, she's a very warm and considerate woman. Initially, many students are afraid of her because of the high position she holds at school, but whenever a troubled teenager is sent to her office, they quickly understand she's not someone they should be afraid or angry at. Having children of her own, Mida sees her kids in every teenager that comes into her office and tries her best to cater to their needs and help to solve their problems, even if they seem like a lost cause to all of the other adults. In my redesign, Mida has been married for 20 years and has 3 children, a boy and 2 girls. Her son is already an adult studying abroad, and her daughters are 14 and 17. Her husband works as a librarian, she's 44, has been working in academia for the past 5 years also. For her redesign, I mostly kept all of the same features she had prior. I just really changed her outfit and gave her some wrinkles to signal her age. It's really funny because I don't believe that Yandere Simulator needs to be extremely smart and make mind-blowing character designs to convey its message and what they are supposed to be. So it was pretty funny to redesign Mida because I basically took the character, put some wrinkles on it, and made her wear appropriate clothing to the setting she was in. I don't feel like I did much character design-wise, but I do like the story and overall purpose I gave her. Okay, so Mida is only a threat to your objectives if you're in the genocide route. If Ayano decides to go through the pacifist route, you hardly meet Mida at all unless you deliberately want to receive advice on how to go about dealing with your feelings and maybe dealing with the romantic competition you have. In the genocide route, Mida is aware that there's someone dangerous at school. As the school's counselor, it isn't used to see violent and troublesome children. Because of academia's high standards and prestige, she hardly comes across any serious problems amongst teens, but she has worked on simpler, poor schools where she saw all kinds of things and fights between not only the teenagers themselves, but between the students and the faculty members. Because of that, when she notices a pattern of specific girls being killed or disappearing, she's quick to catch on you soon. You see, every rival will have at least 2 meetings with Mida through their weeks, and Mida will notice that there's a pattern of girls falling for the same boy. Taro himself goes to speak to her a few times, something that will increase greatly as more of the girls get eliminated in a gruesome manner. As Taro's mental health deteriorates, girls disappear and the school slowly seems to become less of a safe space, Mida will track down Ayano and learn about her crush on Senpai. I'm not entirely sure how much this would affect the player gameplay-wise, but Mida is sure to always keep an eye out for Ayano on specific hours of the day and start impromptu meetings with her just to take up her time in order to avoid anything suspicious and learn more about this mysterious girl. This will definitely give the player a harder time because you could potentially miss specific events between Taro and the rival if you ever get surprised by one of Mida's meetings or inquiries, as they're unskippable unless you have met specific criteria required to avoid her. Feel free to brainstorm more mechanic and ideas for this redesign. I'll be leaving this here for today. Thank you so much for watching the video. I know it's not as long as I usually do, but hey, I haven't been posting for a while, so you better eat this up. Thank you so much to our patrons. Eli was here, Ono Soda, Mira, and Cubs Cube. Thank you so much. I hope to see you in the next video, and I promise I won't take so long anymore. Bye!